Hey, what's up everybody? Just another update on the Raph Ninja Turtle. Here we go. We pretty much got all of it 3D printed. And guys, when I say this is a monstrous task to 3D print, I'm not gonna lie, it is a monstrous task. It isn't the easiest model to print. It's gonna take quite a bit of craftiness to get it printed and oriented just right in whatever slicer you're using. Like I said in my previous videos, I could not get Cura, Prusa Slicer, or Orca Slicer to print this model. And it's not because it's a heavy model megabytes wise or size wise. Like I've said previously, probably sound like a broken record. I think it's because of the texture that it creates so many tool paths and memory to use from your computer, the RAM, that those softwares just can't handle it. The only software I've been able to make work is Simplify 3D version 4 and version 5. For some reason, the Simplify 3D version 5 also can't handle it, but there's a feature in version 5 that you can disable the preview and then it works just fine. You just can't see your preview. For some reason on the older Simplify 3D, it doesn't have a problem with the preview, and I guess it's because the V5 preview in Simplify 3D uses more RAM on your computer. That's what I've been told. But the only reason I use version 5 is for my Elegoo Neptune 4 Max over there that has Clipper software in it. On my other two printers, my Neptune 3 Max and Creality CR10 Max, sorry, my chickens are going crazy. I need to let them out so you could hear them over there. Yeah, I have some chickens. I like fresh, farm fresh eggs. Off topic, but yeah. Simplify 3D version 5 you only need for Clipper based machines. On my CR10 Max and Neptune 3 Max, those are old Marlin software, so V4 of Simplify 3D works just fine, and it also displays the preview for the model. But yeah, if you have a dream of building a Ninja Turtle suit, you are going at this point to have to purchase, in addition to the files, Simplify 3D in order to get it to work. Unless you have some super jam-packed, heavy gigabyte RAM computer, it's not going to happen, guys, unfortunately. At least not at the moment. But anyways, we got it printed. I got it printed in some pretty large pieces, as you can see. I really didn't want to cut up the model too much, and this is where we are. I still need the modeler at the moment. He's working on it. He is scaling up the belt. For some reason in these files, all of this came scaled, and I haven't adjusted it or scaled it up in any way. This is just, I printed it as is, but for some reason the belt and the size and the eyes and the teeth, they don't come scaled. So he's working on that, getting those scaled for me, and then once those are scaled, I'm gonna get them printed and we'll be pretty much finished with the print process. But now, like I've said many times, we need to get in and clean up a lot of these seams. As you can see here, that's gonna be the next thing. I'm gonna show you what I do to clean these up and blend them in good enough where you can't really notice it once this is all printed up and dolled up. So that's where we're at, guys. I hope you like it. It's amazing. It's incredibly huge. I want to say it's probably a 6-foot model. It might be even taller than that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is huge. Huge, huge, huge. That's a 5-gallon Harbor Freight bucket, so you can kind of do the scale. Those are just the last couple little tidbits I need to glue on the shell that I haven't done yet. I need to do some surface leveling before I put those on because I didn't match the seams exactly perfectly. So yeah, I need to level it out a little bit more, get those glued on. Just a part of the process, guys. It's never going to be perfect. You're going to have to work around a lot of the imperfections and make those imperfections yourself perfect. So yeah, look at that, guys. But it's just incredible. It still blows my mind. 3D printing has not gotten old to me. I'm still like a little kid in a candy store, absolutely enthralled, excited, and just mesmerized that we could still do this at home on one of these machines and make a lot of our childhood dreams come true in being able to own something like this. So the next part of the video, I'm going to get into kind of how I get these seams cleaned up. I might not show the finished detail at the moment. That might be another video, but I'm going to show you what I do to start it off and really get the process going. Okay guys, so here we have the upper legs. This is probably the largest piece of the whole entire turtle statue. We got quite a bit of gappage here from being glued together, and I need to fill this in, give it some structure. This isn't something you just want to use some spot putty on. You want to put some putty in there, preferably an epoxy putty, some type of epoxy sculpting putty that's usually 1:1 ratio, and we'll go in and fill this line and try even to use the epoxy sculpt or the putty to blend this all in and feather it out and make it look seamless. That'll give us a good foundation that if we still have any kind of discrepancies there, that we can follow up with like some 3M red spot putty to really feather it out. But foundational wise, I'm going to use a 1:1 sculpting putty to fill in those gaps there that you can see and blend it. So this is what I use. I use some 1:1 Magic Sculpt. I've had this stuff for ages. I go in, I pick at it as needed. I'm gonna have to use quite a bit of this, so I'm probably gonna have to get a new batch, but this will do just fine. You could also get Epoxy Sculpt, which is another similar type of putty, but I like the Magic Sculpt better. It works better for stuff like this, and it gives you a lot of work time. You probably have about, I don't know, I would say a half hour to an hour of work time to really get this the way that you want it to look. So this is what we're going to use. So you usually just get equal size, mix it together. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but just close enough. Mix it all in until it's seamless in one color. Sorry, it's a little loud. I have a print going on my printer back here, so you guys are going to hear that. I got this pretty mixed. I don't need to use all of this at one time. We really could just use a little bit at a time to fill in this line here. I also got a bottle of water, and I put some water in a dish, and this water just helps the sculpting process. It helps smooth this out. So dipped a little bit of water in there, and as you can see, this gap here, I have a little bit on my finger here. There we go. And we'll start blending this putty in here and pushing it into the gap. Again, I have a little bit here. I'm going to dab a little bit in my water. The water really helps to smooth this putty out as we're working. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Here I'm really trying to. And then you can build it up with your finger as see fit. There we go. You just keep going and going. It's a long, tedious process, guys, to really blend this. There's other methods, I'm sure, but this will give it the structural stability I need to really, really make this strong. And yeah, you could PLA weld it, but if you do that, you're going to ruin all of your texture. So this isn't really a surface that you want to PLA weld on. If it was smooth, you would have no problem. You could PLA weld it. You could do similar to what I'm doing here. There's tons of other processes. Because we have the texture, we have to be very careful so we don't lose it. So I figured this sculpting putty would be much better for this application. But I just want to give you guys an idea of what I kind of do behind the scenes with stuff like this. And you just work it. There we go. Very nice. It's already kind of blending in perfectly. And I haven't even quite got to the stage I felt like I would need to get it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this gap up as well. Let it dry a little bit. Maybe put a coat of filler primer and just show you as is before I even go in with a wire brush or some sandpaper, just to see how it looks just doing this. Okay guys, we're going to wrap it up by adding just a light coat of filler primer. This is a 2-in-1 by Rust-Oleum. It's not my usual go-to. I usually use Duplicolor filler primer, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm just going to use this to kind of show you what the seam looks like now after we puttied it without doing anything else to it, just doing that putty work that I showed you previously. So let's see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so that is pretty much it. As you can see, it looks pretty good for just an initial fill in and moderate sculpt. We still have a lot of filler primer to add to this, spot putty, etc. So not bad for the foundation. You saw how bad the gaps were, guys, and just me just kind of loosely, carelessly filling it in. It's not too bad to start with. Gives me a really nice solid foundation, and then I'll probably go in with a wire brush. Once this all fully cures, I'll take a wire brush with my drill gun, this guy, and then we'll really go in and start blending that and sanding that down. And I will also probably use a sanding sponge, which is really good for textured surfaces. But yeah, we're right there, guys. Not too bad for just a little bit of putty. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's where we're at right now, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of this to a lot of the other miscellaneous large pieces of this turtle, guys. So wanted to take you along on this journey, show you kind of step by step where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now, guys. So we are on to the next video, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.